Hello, this is Dr. Mears. Today we're going to be learning about solving systems by elimination, and it says only need to add. So we're going to be doing probably 4 different ways to solve by elimination. The process is the same, but it's what you have to do to 1 or 2 equations to actually be able to do that same process. So here we go. So this is the first way of solving systems by elimination, only need to add. Directions say, solve each system by elimination. Let's read the problem. Number 1, 2x minus 5y equals 15, negative 5x plus 5y equals negative 30. Now I want you to notice that these are in standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are your numbers. So for this first equation, it's 2x minus 5y equals 15. Our a is 2, our b is negative 5, and our c is 15. So that's the form that they're in. We could go about using substitution, but elimination is so much easier, so let's learn how to do that. We have 2 equations here. I'm actually going to rewrite them so that these numbers are directly on top of each other. So I'm going to just rewrite the problem. 2x minus 5y equals 15, and negative 5x plus 5y equals negative 30. Now, when we solve by elimination, what we're doing is we're really eliminating a variable. When we eliminate a variable, we have to look to see which one has the same number but with opposite signs. And I like to abbreviate this as SNOS, S-N-O-S, SNOS. We didn't really have a lot of snows days today, did we? Actually, no, I think it's like 92 outside. So here we go, snows, same number, opposite signs. What do I mean by that? Well, let's look at this x variable here. The reason why I line them up is so that I can see what numbers. These numbers, 2 and 5, these are not the same number. This one's 2, this one's negative 5. So let's look at our y variables and see if we have the same number. 5, 5, awesome. So this means the same number, the exact same number. Let's look at their signs. Their signs should be opposite. So that means if one is positive, the other one is negative, the other one's negative, the other one's positive. So let's look. Negative, positive. Excellent. So here we have snows, same number, opposite signs. What that means is we're ready to go for the elimination process. So what we're going to do is draw a big equal sign here and throw a big old plus sign outside. We're always going to add. That's why we need opposite signs. Because when we go through, we're going to add 2 plus a negative 5x, and we're going to get negative 3x. Negative 5 plus positive 5 crosses out. So we eliminated the y variable right now. That's why we needed the same number with opposite signs, because this actually adds up to 0. When it adds up to 0, our variable is eliminated. Bring down our equal sign, and we can't forget to add the c values, which is 15 plus negative 30, which is going to give us a negative 15. Now we're here at solving for just x, which is amazing. All we do is divide by negative 3, cross out, x equals positive 5. So where these two are going to intersect, because remember, that's what we're trying to find, where they intersect, the x value will be 5, and we're going to need to solve for now the y value. Solving for the y value, we're going to choose one of the equations. I usually just like to go back to that first equation, so I'm going to write it down. 2x minus 5y equals 15. And we're going to use substitution. We know our x is 5, so in place of the x, we're going to put 5. 2 times 5, because remember that's multiplication, minus 5y equals 15. We're going to multiply our 2 and 5, which gives us 10 minus 5y equals 15. Subtract our 10 from both sides. So now this is the problem of just solving for x. Negative 5y equals 5. Divide by negative 5. Our y is going to be negative 1. Negative 1. So this is where the 2 lines, this one and this one, intersect if we graphed them. And we solve this by using elimination. So let's try the second one. If you want to try the second one on your own, you can. However, we're going to be crossing out the other variables, so you might want to wait to try numbers 3 and 4 on your own. So let's go. Here we go. Number 2, negative 10x plus 4y equals 14. 10x minus 7y equals negative 2. Again, I'm just going to rewrite these. Negative 10x plus 4y equals 14. Positive 10x minus 7y equals negative 2. And again, we're looking for SNOs, same number, opposite sign, so that we can cross a variable out or we can eliminate a variable. So let's look. Negative 10, positive 10. They have the same number and they have opposite signs. We're good to go. I think I'm going to cross out my x variable. Put a big old equal sign, throw a big old addition on that because we do add. Negative 10 plus positive 10. Crosses out is eliminated. Let's go and add everything else. 4 plus a negative 7y gives us a negative 3y. 14 plus a negative 2 gives us a positive 12. Now it's just solving for y. Divide both sides by negative 3. Y equals negative 4. So we now have the y value of where they intersect. Remember that other problem, we got the x value. This problem, we found the y value first. So either one you find first, it doesn't matter. You just have to make sure that you're eliminating one of the variables. Okay, we still need to find our x value. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back. I usually like to pick that first equation and write it down. Negative 10x plus 4y equals 14. So that was just rewriting this first equation. We know our y is negative 4, so that's what I'm going to substitute in. So now it's just substitution, negative 4. Remembering that this is multiplication here, so it's 4 times negative 4. I love using my parentheses to represent that. Negative 10x, positive times a negative is a negative 16 equals 14. Adding 16 to both sides. Bringing down my negative 10x. 14 plus 16 is 20. Nope, sorry, 14 plus 16 is not 20, it's 30. Dividing both sides by negative 10, and x equals negative 3, and this is where they cross, negative 3, negative 4. So if we graphed these two lines, we would see that they cross at negative 3, negative 4. And this was solved by the process of elimination. So now I did two examples, one where we found x first, one where we found y first. So if you want to try the next two examples, number 3 and 4 on your own, or even just number 3, you can pause here and try that. Okay, here we go, number 3. I'm going to rewrite this again. Negative 2x minus 5y equals negative 25. Positive 2x minus y equals 7. I see that these have same number opposite signs, so I'm going to throw an equal sign and a plus sign. These are eliminated because we had same number opposite signs. I'm going to add. Now, here's my thing, and I didn't do this before, but I'm going to do it right now. I need to put my ones in. I see that my y does not have an actual number, so I'm going to put a 1 in between that minus and that y, which means there is a 1 here. So we're going to be starting to put our ones in because we're going to need to use them. So I put my 1 in, so now I can go and say negative 5y plus negative 1y gives us negative 6y's equal 25 minus 7 is going to give us 18. And now it's just dividing by negative 6. And y is going to be negative. I'm sorry, this is negative 25, so this is negative 18. And it's going to give us a positive 3. So my y value, y equals 3, y value is 3. So that was a negative 18 because this was a negative 25. So be careful of those tiny negatives. Make sure you're bringing those down. Okay, I have my y. I'm going to go back to my first equation. However, my second equation might be a little bit easier, but I kind of just like to keep it, always go back to my first. You can use this equation, but again, I'm just going to go back to my first. So negative 2x minus 5y equals negative 25. Y is 3, so I'm going to substitute my 3 in for my y. Oops. Negative 25. This is a minus. Negative 2x Not sure why I keep messing that up. I'm sorry. Minus 15, because negative 5 times positive 3 is minus 15, equals negative 25. Adding my 15 to both sides, making sure I move down so you can see it. Negative 2x equals negative 10, dividing by negative 2, and my x will equal positive 5. Moving my thumb so you can see it. So positive 5, so that's my x. So solving by elimination process, we see that where they meet is going to be 5, 3. Okay, on to number 4, which is my last one. Let's rewrite x minus y equals 15. Negative x minus 3y equals 5. Now I'm going to put my 1's in. There's a lot missing, so I need a 1 in front of the x. I need a 1 in between that minus y. And I need a 1 in between my negative and my x. So anywhere you don't see that number in front of that variable, put your 1's in. Now let's go and see who has the same number, opposite signs. I see I have a 1 here and a negative 1 here. I have a negative 1 here and a negative 3. These do not have snows. This has snows. We're going to be crossing out our x's again. So this is addition, eliminating our x's because they have the same number, opposite signs. Let's start to add. Negative 1 plus negative 3y is negative 4y equals 15 plus 5 is going to give us 20. Divide by negative 4. Y is going to give us negative 5. So we found our y value. So when we make our point, we got our y, which means we need to find our x. I'm going to write down this first equation. X minus y equals 15. My y is minus 5. So x minus. Now be careful because this is a minus sign. There's really a 1 in front here. So this is really 1. And when you substitute your negative 5 in, you're going to have minus this negative 5, and we're going to be multiplying those signs. So you have to be careful. So this is really x, negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5 equals 15. Please, please, please be careful about that. We had a minus here. I put my 1 in. That is really minus 1 right there. Multiplying by my negative 5 because that's what my y value is. When I multiply negative 1 times negative 5, it comes out to be positive 5. Now what we have to do is subtract 5 for both sides to solve for x. X is going to come out to be 10. 10. Here's my answer. That's where they would cross if we were to graph these lines. This was solved by the process of elimination, where we just had to add. We were looking for same number, opposite signs to eliminate a variable, and then we substituted that number in and found the other variable, x. Hope this helped. This has been Solving Systems by Elimination. Only need to add. Dr. Mears, talk to you soon.